Just on a jovial front, I never knew that Pramila was a missile technologist. Now we could relate to all the missiles that were thrown at the four of us over the last 1 week. Just to set a context in terms of looking at some numbers, and I was just looking at a research which said that the IT spend would probably increase from about $67 billion to $92 billion in India in the coming years. So that's one interesting number that I came across. A second interesting number that one came across was that there will be about 40 million users of internet in India in the next few years. So this talks of in terms of the sheer scale. It's also a time when all of us are hearing about Flipkart and Big Basket and whatnot. But very interestingly, the survey again says that the total online shopping value will probably be less than $10 billion by 2017. And when you compare that with the overall GDP number, it again shows that there is much, much more that can be done. So this is one context that I wanted to paint. A second context, like what Pramila was saying, was what does digital mean to different people? And a survey was done amongst senior executives in India. And very interestingly, for 73% of the people, digital meant mobility. About 53% for them it meant cloud, 40% it meant social media, 24% it meant enterprise solutions, 22% process efficiencies, and 7% for them it meant coming up with something totally new, disruption, innovation, monetization, etc. So this is just broad numbers. Now ITC is a conglomerate, different businesses, different life cycles. And I was trying to sort of see as to how best I can communicate what stage we are in this journey. And like any management graduate, I could think of a 2x2 grid. And if I were to take a grid of a x-axis of degree of digitalization or digitization, whatever you may call in terms of, I'm using the phrase in a very interchangeable manner, high and low. And I'm looking at another axis in terms of transformation, impact on business. And you essentially come across 4 quadrants. And if I were to look at a quadrant where the company is doing extremely well in terms of transformation, but really not pursuing digital, I am coining it as digitless. So that's one segment. The other segment is transformation also at an early stage. Adoption of digital also is at an early stage. So that I'm calling as Diginer, D-I-G-I-N-E-R. The third stage is very low on transformation, very low on application, extremely high on digitization or digital. I'm calling it as Digiterati. And the last quadrant, which is high on digital, high on transformation, is called Digical. Now, when I look at ITC, our different businesses fall in different quadrants. The old businesses probably would still be in the quadrant more towards digitless. Our service businesses like hotels, etc., would be slightly at a more evolved stage. But I'd like to take just one example which is beyond this 4, which I call as Digineer, which is basically like a pioneer in digital. We are all talking of social media today. If you really look at it from an Indian context, social media is not new for us. The traditional gram panchayats and chopals are classic example of social engagements, where you engage together amongst a group of people and then spread the entire thing to the village community. And ITC had a very interesting initiative sometime in 2000, it's almost 15 years back, where it leveraged the whole aspect of digitization, linkaging it to social media, and creating this entire ecosystem of what we call as e-chopal. Many of you would have heard about it. In my view, it's nothing but a classic demonstration of how do you integrate technology, people, ecosystem. But what's important is we have monetized that entire ecosystem that has got created, and that now becomes a backbone as a supply chain for many other businesses of ITC.